First this morning, when parents split up, they're both still expected to contribute financially towards the upbringing of their children. If they can't agree how much should be paid, a government agency decides on the cost of child maintenance. If one parent doesn't pay up, it's chased up by the government. But this programme can reveal that the amount of unpaid child maintenance parents are currently chasing stands at £3.8 billion, and it affects over 1 million parents in the UK. The money is owed by non-resident parents or absent parents and has built up over the last 23 years. Our reporter Nicola Rees has been speaking to some of those people affected. Take a look.
So are you able to see how much money is owed?
Right, I've got £9,109.
So what's happening with that money?
Over £3,000, but I've no confidence that I'm going to get that money. I would never rely on it.
When couples split up, they're both still expected to contribute to the cost of bringing up their children. But according to the latest figures, almost 1.2 million parents in the UK have failed to pay a total of £3.8 billion in child maintenance.
It's such a huge, startling number that people can't quite believe it and do a double take. And it's money that's built up over a long time.
They've made all the assessments, this is the money that he owes, but they don't seem to be able to get it off him and there's been no repercussions.
You're on hold for 15-20 minutes, you're being charged for them calls.
Payment of child maintenance is a legal obligation, a bit like income tax or national insurance. So how is it that so many parents are managing to dodge their responsibilities?
Laura Riley lives in Sheffield. Her son Louis is 10 years old. His dad has been assessed by the Child Support Agency and should be paying maintenance.
I bought him a couple of books and £50 at the beginning in 2009, but we're now in 2017. And the total amount that he owes Louis is £9,000.
What was it like for you, particularly early on, to survive on one income?
At the beginning, when I first moved up to Sheffield, it was really tough trying to support him because I just didn't have the money to look after him properly, and I had to just sort of go in to do fun things. I would just take him to the park, get a picnic. We'd have the same picnic every single day. Take a book. I mean, I did my best, but I would have liked to have done more.
You have since moved on and you've remarried. Do you in any way feel that makes you less entitled to this money now?
As his father, he has a responsibility to, you don't just have the child, you raise them, you support them, and he's not doing that, is he? But, after 9 years of trying to get money out of him via the CSA, and it's been completely unsuccessful.
In Nottingham, single mum Karen Horton is also desperate to recoup several years' worth of child maintenance debt for her son Liam, who's now 18.
Don't forget I'm working a double, so you need to sort your own dinner out. Okay. All right.
Karen separated from Liam's dad 10 years ago. At first, she received regular payments of £5 a week directly from his benefits. But when he stopped claiming benefits and started working, the maintenance dried up.
It was awful. I was at university. I was on less than benefits when I was on a maintenance grant, and that £5 a week would have made a difference right then, as daft as it sounds. I used to buy a loaf of bread and a packet of multi-crisp, and I'd just have like crisp butties, because that had only cost me about £4 to feed me for Monday to Friday. That was how bad it was. And to know that you could have had that support had the system worked, it hurts a little bit more, because we needed that money to survive, really.
How much of a difference might this arrears money make to you and to Liam?
That had helped massively, because that had put food on our table. Because by the time I paid my bills, I hadn't got food money. This month, 5 days after my salary went into my account, I had £8.50 that was for the month.
Karen raised Liam alone for 5 years without child maintenance, but since 2014 she has received regular payments from her former partner.
The CSA did eventually track Liam's dad down and calculate a payment for him though, didn't they?
I had to be constantly on to them, so I don't give them any credit for that. I had to ring them every week pretty much at that time because we were so desperate for that money. And I knew that it was working. And then when they're telling you that they've lost your case or there's been a problem, it's been overlooked, there's been a mistake on your case has been put in the wrong place or the wrong department, it's really frustrating them because you know you're struggling because of their incompetence, really.
The Child Support Agency was set up in 1993 to make sure that if a relationship broke down, one parent couldn't just disappear and leave the other to pay the costs of bringing up their children. But for years it's been dogged with problems. Computer systems didn't work properly and parents who didn't pay up weren't tracked down.
So over 23 years, a multi-billion-pound arrears debt's accumulated. It's money that should have been available for children.
I've sent letters after letters and I just felt like I was getting fobbed off, to be quite honest. They were saying, oh, well, you know, they asked for my bank details. They said they'd put it into they'll get the money off of him, they'll put it into my bank account. And it's just never happened.
The Child Support Agency has taken enforcement action on at least 3 occasions, but the bailiffs haven't been successful. Do you have any hope that they'll get this money back for you?
No, I haven't got any hope at all. As soon as he gets wind that it's the CSA, will hang up. If they come round to the house, we won't let them in the house. I mean, this enforcement letter that I've got a couple of years ago, they haven't done anything with it. There's been no repercussions whatsoever. So to me, it's just, you know, it's like a paper exercise.
Laura's former partner is this man, Gary Lawford.
Louis?
Yeah, thank you.
Look, it's Daddy.
He works as a children's entertainer in Brighton. We contacted him to ask why he hasn't paid child maintenance for Louis, but he declined to comment.
The Child Support Agency has a whole range of powers to potentially force parents to pay up. They can take money directly from benefits or bank accounts. They can even use bailiffs to seize property.
These are powers that they very seldom use, and yet for some people, particularly those who are self-employed, those are the things that would really work, but they very seldom use them.
Janet Alberson is from the single parents charity Gingerbread. She wants the government to do more to tackle the maintenance debt.
We say there should be some compensation to children and their families who've lost out. They shouldn't just be able to walk away and say it's history when it's due to their errors and their poor practice that money hasn't been collected. That's wrong, and the government should pay for that.
The government say that part of this issue is they're focusing on children who can benefit now, which is why the arrears might not be a priority. That's the right approach, isn't it?
It sounds very simple, doesn't it? You know, focus on money for children now. But if you're just kind of always cresting the wave and saying, you know, money now, every week, every month, there's a proportion of parents who only pay nothing, or they pay half, and when they don't pay, that money starts to build up. Even if it's paid months, years late, it can still make a huge difference in terms of paying off bills, replenishing your savings, helping perhaps a teenage child redecorate their bedroom.
In 2012, the government brought in a new system to replace the failing CSA. The Child Maintenance Service, or CMS, brought with it new IT systems and the ability to access HM revenue and customs data to make payments more quickly.
The new scheme introduced charges that parents had to pay before they could sign up. And the aim was actually to put people off using the government scheme and instead to encourage them to go away, sit down and come up with their own arrangements for child support. But in many cases, that's simply not happening.
what they say is they want parents to collaborate and agree maintenance and do it in a friendly way. And so charging people £20 to use the new service is intended to make them go away and agree their own arrangements instead. The worry is, of course, that it's putting off particularly low-income parents who can't afford it.
To pay £20 to try and chase up, you know, get money out of him for Louis when there's £9,000 owing from the last 10 years, why would I pay more to get money that I haven't even got? And it doesn't make sense to me at all. So until I've got that money back, I'm not going to be paying money to get money that's rightfully Louis'. It's ridiculous.
Laura's frustrations are shared by many single parents. In fact, only 16% have reapplied to have their maintenance collected by the new service. But among those who have, there is hope. Karen is now receiving regular payments from her ex.
He is now making regular payments and a small contribution towards his arrears. Does that give you confidence? Are you cautiously optimistic?
Yeah, it's an anxiety really, because you don't know if that money's going to come at the end of the month. So you can never rely on it. Even if you do start getting it, you don't know how much you're going to get every month, because they take a percentage of his wage. And then it's still the really bad correspondence. So every month I get a letter saying that he hasn't paid. But then I get a text message a couple of weeks later saying that there's a payment being made.
The new and improved CMS was supposed to solve the arrears problem, but the debt continues to rise. So far, for the parents who have signed up, the service is only collecting around half of the money that's due. In fact, the new system has already clocked up £93 million in unpaid maintenance.
Just going to find out where your case is located, Miss Riley. Bear with me, thank you.
For Laura, the fight is far from over.
Just pop you on hold a moment and I'll keep you too long, thank you.
But dealing with the system doesn't get any easier.
It's so frustrating. How many years should you chase them? Hello? I've never even got decent music. Can you tell me what's happening with this money and if there's any chance of me getting it and what's happening?
Right, I've got £9,109.
Okay, yep, that's the figure I've got. So what's happening with that money?
Right, what I need to do is I need to contact enforcement for you.
After 22 minutes on the phone to 3 different departments, Laura is told someone will call her back.
They've confirmed that that he owes a sum of £9,109, but they can't confirm anything else, you know, when it's going to be paid back, they're just trying to find the right department of, of where it is, and it's just, so now I have to phone them back to phone up a different number but it's like this all the time, and it's just a complete headache. I'm not getting anywhere with it, and I've just wasted all this time on the phone, and now I feel really stressed, and you can probably tell by my voice, you're just getting really, wound up, and such a rubbish service, isn't it? Really rubbish.
We very much want the CMS to succeed. We want it to work. We don't agree with the fact that you've got to be charged to use it. We think that's a very blunt instrument. But we do want the service to deliver for children. At the moment, there's still, I think, questions to be asked about how much effort it's put into chasing those who choose not to pay. And we don't think, as yet, it's got that right, and there's more that needs to be done.
The government says it's getting tough tackling parents who evade payment, but with billions of pounds worth of child maintenance outstanding, many single-parent families are yet to be convinced.
I don't understand how, a father can get away with not paying. How can he sleep at night? How can he sleep at night when that's his child that he owes money to? I don't know how he sleeps, I really don't.
It'd have been nice for Liam to know that his dad were contributing. It'd have been nice for Liam to have that respect in his dad that he's never been able to have.
Well, if your ex-partner isn't paying child maintenance, then do get in touch Really want to hear how you cope without it and what measures you've undertaken to try to get it. As you'd expect, we asked the Department of Work and Pensions to speak to us this morning. They said no, telling us they, quote, actively pursue non-resident parents to recover unpaid maintenance and are committed to ensuring that everyone gets paid the child maintenance they're entitled to.